In this session, we'll complete the assembly of components that we began in the previous session. We'll start by selecting the commands File, New, and then click on the Assembly Radio button. Next, we'll uncheck the Use Default Template box and then key in Lesson 9 and click on the OK button. In the window that has just opened, we'll click on the template Millimeters, Newtons, and Seconds, and then select the OK button. In order to bring in the first component, we will select the Add Component icon and then open the part file B-plate. We now need to constrain the base plate to the assembly datum plates, which we'll do by selecting the default location option. And then click on the check mark icon. We'll now turn off the display of the datum planes and then select the hidden line Display Type. We'll now bring in the subassembly that we created in the previous session by again clicking on the Add Component icon and then opening the file Support. We'll now spin the display and then click on the bottom surface of the support, followed by spinning the display again and then clicking on the top surface of the base plate. As you can see, ProE made the correct assumption to use the mate constraint and the offset distance is set to 0. Now we'll zoom in and then click on an axis of the base plate, followed by clicking on the corresponding axis of the support. Notice that ProE has used an alignment constraint for the two axes, and in the placement status region that the message fully constrained is displayed. However, as you can see, the results are not correct because the second set of holes is not aligned. We will correct this situation by first clicking on Placement in the dashboard and then selecting New Constraint, followed by clicking on Placement again in order to close the window. Now we'll click on the axis of the base plate, followed by clicking on the corresponding axis on the support. Since the support is now correctly positioned, we will now click on the Apply icon. We'll now jump ahead to the point after having added a second copy of the support and an axle, pulley, and key. The last part that we'll bring into our assembly is a bolt, which we will do now. We'll start by selecting the flat bottom surface on the head of the bolt, followed by selecting the top surface of the support. Since the bolt's orientation is incorrect, we'll open the placement window and select the Flip option. Next, we'll click on the axis of the bolt, followed by clicking on the axis of one of the holes. To complete the assembly, 3 more copies of the bolt should be brought in using the same techniques as used for the first bolt.